Hello and welcome to Paxton Road TV. I am Sam Spurs for Life and this is Talking Points episode number 64. It is titled, what is it titled? Is Conte about to pull off his top four miracle? Little bit of mischievous title there. I don't think it's a miracle if we get top four of Conte. He said it was going to be a miracle if he was to do the unthinkable and get us top four, but I don't think it's a miracle. It's a very good achievement. Anyway, I'm not going to say all of my thoughts. We've got others in the house to give their thoughts as well. So before we start the show, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, notification bell as well, so you know about all our content coming out, and share the content around, and make sure you put your comments in the comment section below, and we will do our best to try and put them all on screen, read them out where possible as well. But I'm going to introduce my guests in the house. We have, as always, his name has changed. His name's been changing, but he's stuck with this one for now. One game at a time, the one and only Sid Spurs. And we've got in the house, and he's got the accent again, Sean A. Hurl from Paxton Road TV. I like it. I like when that's how it's nice. Sometimes it's on there, but I like when it's got the Sean A bit. It's like, it's posh. You know what I mean? It's posh. Anyway. Let's do this thing. Let us put up the banner going across. Here we go. Is Conte about to pull off his top four miracle? Talking Points number 64. Let's start with you, Sean. Conte came in November. I can't remember the exact date. We were 9th in the table. I think Arsenal may have been 6 points ahead of us at the time. Now going into the last game of the season. One game to go. So lo and behold, we are in the box seat. 2 points clear of them lot. One game to go. Conte did say if he was to get top four after, I think particularly after the Burnley game when we saw the meltdown, it was all looking very doom and gloom. Is it a miracle? I'll ask you directly. Is it a miracle?
It's something short of a miracle. I think we'd have to go to the Vatican to get kind of to get it blessed, I think. But yeah, it's definitely given the threadbare squad that he's wound up with, he's cast players aside. He's only had 15 players that he could count on. He's managed to get the odd performances out of players who we didn't think would ever give us a performance again, including my boy Harry Winks, but we won't go there. Yeah, it's a miracle. It is a miracle because we were 9th heading to 14th when he took over, and we have rightly, based on form, boxed off this seat. And can you see any other result than the Spurs win on Saturday? On Sunday, I can't.
I am as confident as I will ever be for the final game of the season, based on what I've already seen, based on the result that have gone by, based on this last little push. It's not like it's we've got to play another game in 3 days' time. This is it. This is everything. We've had a week's rest. Every team's had, well, not every team, because some teams are playing tomorrow and other teams have played yesterday. But as much as preparation goes, you can't have any more time than this. A week between a game, having, won that game, having had the North London derby, this is as much as you're going to be in a situation where everything's in our hands and we have to do it. Sid, is it a miracle?
A lot of people will probably say it is, considering where we were when Conte was appointed. I think it was an actual miracle in itself that he came to Spurs and Daniel Levy managed to get him. I think that was miracles. And in terms of the results after that, I think people were still up for, the jury was still out, weren't they? And Judge Jodi was about with I'm going to judge this, what's going on. But I think with the squad of players that he inherited, and then obviously we've got to look at, we got rid of Ndombele and TLC. Sorry, that's a pop group, isn't it? I meant GLC.
Got rid of Council.
Yeah, Dele Alli, got rid of Dele Alli. So we got rid of a few players and it sort of made our squad weaker in a sense. I know now we're probably saying, no, it's not weaker, but in a sense, we lost a few squad players, and you know what? Everybody don't want Doherty, don't want Dyer, don't want Davis, don't want Regular. Get him out, right? And with what he's got, I think it's nothing more of a miracle if we end up getting top 4 and Champions League spot. I think it would be nothing more of a miracle. But the cynics will say, well, what do you expect? He's a top-class manager, Conte. He should be able to do what he can with no matter what players he's got. If he's an elite manager, then you should be able to coach and train elite managers. So unfortunately, Mr. Hot Chocolate and I believe in miracles are going to have to be put to one side now, hasn't it?
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't say, for me personally, I wouldn't say it's a miracle. I would say it's a very good achievement. And the reason I say it's that is because he came in November. Usually Conte doesn't, well, he said he doesn't go to any team partway through a season. He likes to have the preseason, go through all his ways and, get the players to be on his. So if we take that into consideration, it probably took till about, I would say, early January, maybe even later than that, for him to have made that assessment and at least got the players starting to think in his way. We saw some ups and downs in some of the results. We saw the turmoil when we went to Burnley and we lost 1-0. Conte came out and almost said to him, I can't do any more with this lot of players. But something clicked. And this is what I wanted to get onto next. What's changed? Something definitely changed at some point. And I reckon it was round about that Burnley game for me. I know we had the Brighton result, but again, we can look at that in isolation along with the Brentford result. But there was certainly more of a steel about these players. For you, Sean, what if it's more than one thing? Certainly go into it. But what specifically changed for you to make this team seem more steelish to me? And that's why I'm so confident about the Norwich game. If it was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, maybe even earlier this season, I would have been, Norwich, it could be tricky. But now I'm like, bring it on. What's changed?
I think that was a wake-up call to the players, Burnley away. They were floating in there after beating City the previous weekend, and they just didn't, I mean, was it 2 shots on target, I think, that night? And I think Conte sort of said, look, Conte said he was starting to doubt himself. He didn't mean that. He never means that, because he is the most confident person in football, without a doubt. I've never known anyone with such, self-belief as Conte. But I think something happened in the players' mentality, and they said, if we want this guy to stick around and we're enjoying the training, we're enjoying, the whole team is being coached, unlike Mourinho, where he coached the back line, just said, the attackers can sort it out themselves. It was interesting. It was new. The detail was suited, a winner like Kane. I think something happened in their mentality, and they've as you say, it's not to say that we haven't had the iffy results that followed Burnley, but I think something happened about them. And just to see them rip Arsenal apart last Thursday and to be in the stadium, my best birthday ever.
So jealous of you two. That was the one game that if I could have got to in midweek, I would have done anything for. But it was almost rocking horse shit for tickets to that one. But I seen the game before and I seen the game after, so I was happy with that because it was both wins. Sid, let me come to you then. Again, you've been to most of the games this season at home. You've seen the good, the bad, the ugly side, the indifferent side, the players not wanting to try. We've seen the likes of Dele Alli. We've seen Tanga. We've seen, as you said, GLC come and go. We've seen players significantly improve. We're talking the likes of Matt Doherty, player that, I've lambasted, said he's not good enough. Players like Emerson.
He was called Dorothy on this channel.
But for not for no reason. He was awful at one point. Awful. Ben Davies, we was looking at him, is he going to be our left centre? How are we going to cope with this? Them two players in particular, Ben Davies and Matt Doherty, up until his injury. Ben Davies, what I've seen him do, and I've seen him now playing live, I can understand exactly why he's a Conte player. The guy puts his body on the line. He made some phenomenal blocks in the last few weeks. That is mentality. When you're prepared to throw your body in front of anything, this old players are doing that. None of that for Ben Davies. He's stopping balls with any part of his body. He's actually a player that now, if he's not playing, I'll be like, who's going to play on that left side for us? Sanchez, I don't want to see him. We've not seen much of Joe Rodon. So Conte's got into the psyche of these players, Sid, for me. Have you seen that over this course of the season from the Nuno through to now?
I think so. Do you know what? You know what this reminds me of? Yeah, I don't know. For everyone, I'm hoping everyone's seen the film Cool Runnings. Have you seen Cool Runnings?
I have, yes.
Right.
No.
Shoni, have you seen it?
No.
Okay, you need to watch it. It's about the Jamaican bobsleigh team and what happened
Right.
and what transpired. There's a scene in that film, yeah, where Junior is getting harassed by the Russian bobsleigh team, and he's really soft. So he goes into the bathroom, and then there's another guy who's really solid, and that guy is, for me, Antonio Conte, right? And he's gone into that bathroom, and he's got all the players there, and he's basically told the players, "What do you see in the mirror?" Yeah. And every single player said, I don't know. I don't know. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because someone keeps bugging. And Sam's frozen.
It might be you, because I unless it's no, I seem all right. Sean seems all right.
Oh, okay.
Let me just test.
Yeah.
Am I frozen still? I'm moving.
No.
No, you're all right now. You've come back. Yeah. So that scene. So basically, what changed was under Nuno, they were just doing what they want. With this one, Conte put them in front of the mirror and he said to them, "What do you see?" And they all probably went, "I don't know." And he went, "I see pride. I see power. And most importantly, I see you wearing a Tottenham Hotspur shirt. And go out there and do it for the fans." And I think that's what they've done. They've actually looked at themselves and thought, "Do you know what? We're in probably one of the best stadiums in the world. We've got probably one of the best managers in the world. Probably got one of the best fan base in the world that will sing their hearts out. We're going to go out there and we're going to do it for that badge." And I think that's what they've done. And exactly what you said, Sam, the likes of Dyers, Davis, people like that have just probably gone beyond that. And they've literally gone into it. And as it's fallen into place, Conte's gone up to them, put his hand around them and said, "Right, this is how you should be doing it. Well done, well done, well done." And this is that debate we was having the other day where Arteta versus Conte, you had a manager and you had a coach that can only just coach. Whereas we had a manager who can not only coach, he was managing the players, telling them what to do, how to do it, putting their arm around them. And that was the biggest difference. And for me, that mentality now in that changing room has changed 100 folds.
The players can believe. Sorry, go on, Sean. I'll say
I
my
was going to say
part.
that there's an incident from the Arsenal game which I don't think anyone's really picked up on actually anywhere, but there was late in the second half where they got down the left-hand side beyond Royale and the ball came in and Davis cleared it. You should have seen Davis. He was incandescent at Royal for letting the player get past him. He was like Cellini, you know. He was Italian and he was like almost hammering the grass, you know, saying, "Why did you let that happen?" You know, and I think that is a prime example of what Conte has done to this team, and that's what I mean. Ben Davis, I think, he's an incredible player. I mean, you know, he's been excellent most of the season. So, you know,
he's a reliable. He's dependable, and he does what's asked of him. That's the other thing. You've got to work under certain instructions for Conte, as we've seen with the likes of, I guess I'm going to use his name, Tanguy, Dele. You know, they didn't seem to want to work under, or maybe not necessarily work, but didn't seem to be able to flourish under the restrictions that Conte puts, because he has got some specifics he wants in defense, in attack, and in that transition. So you have to know what you're doing. And some players want to be a bit more free spirits. Dele Alli's more of a free spirit. Tanguy's more of a free spirit. Doesn't want to necessarily buy into the rigidness of what a Conte system requires. The players that we have now either buy into it or they don't. And I think some of them know, right, if I don't buy into this and I don't show that I want to be part of this, I ain't going to be here next season. I don't also want to underestimate the power of those two signings we got and also the ones that we got rid of. Kulusevski and Benton could have come in January, for me, has probably along with the increase in. Go on, sorry.
It's not even January. They signed on the last day of January. It's February.
Yeah.
It makes it even more astounding.
Even more impressive.
Yeah.
But I think the mentality of those two players that came in, they almost both of them hit the ground. And I think Kulusevski had a little bit of a quiet game in the first game. Benton Kerr, again, they both then just went, right, that's it. that's our shirt. Who's gonna want to take it back? And no one has. For me, that has shown in our results as well, in the consistency of it. I know that some of the iffy results, but if you look at the season, there's been some real shaky ones anyway from a lot of the teams. You know, who would have thought Manchester City going to Wolves would be 2-0 down? Sorry, West Ham, and be 2-0 down and thinking to themselves, what? But it just shows that this league is what it is. I think a lot of it has to do with Conte being able to get them changes out of it. But also, is there anything in the players? You know, some of these players, are they playing for their futures? I'll ask you first then, Sean.
Oh, definitely. Of course they're playing for their futures. I mean, it's clear that, you know, when you get rid of Ndombele, Ali, and Lo Celso, and even, you know, player like Jack Clark went as well at the same time. We you know, Conte will tolerate no dissent, no free spirits. It's my way or the highway. And I think every player now knows, and some of them will know that they're going anyway because you know, their time is up. They're not, you know, they're not going to be around next season. But they, you know, when they've come, the players that have come in generally have done a job. And I mean, you know, the renaissance of Doherty is an incredible example, and you know, such a shame that his season was cut short by that ridiculous tackle at Villa. But you know, yeah, I think they're definitely playing for their futures.
And Sean, not only are they playing for their futures, they're also looking to open avenues at other clubs because they're probably thinking Conte doesn't want us here. If we carry on playing the way we're playing at the moment and we put in a shift and we play really well, somebody else might come in for us and the doors will open elsewhere. You know what I mean? Good point. Yeah, not only are they playing for the future, they're also, if you look at it, it's like they're in the shop window, aren't they, for other clubs as well?
But sometimes some players don't really care about that. They, you know, some players, they just think, oh, I'm getting paid. Someone's going to pick me up. It doesn't really matter. I don't really have to, you know, some players' mentality isn't like that. I know you should, as a professional footballer, not have that, but I've seen it, you know, many times where players just, you know, I can't be arsed with this. No matter what I'm going to do, I'm going to get picked up by somebody. I'm going to get paid the next time. The other thing I wanted to add in terms of what's changed, and I guess probably you said is probably going to be the best one to maybe talk about this first, is the crowd. I remember earlier in the season, there was boos. I remember that game where Tanguy was walking off the pitch and he was being subbed, and it was literally boos. We were absolutely, as a fan base, very divided about what was going on. We weren't together, and it was showing in terms of the support for the team. You know, we might be going down 1-0, we might be playing a certain way, and the crowd weren't having it. Since Conte has got his way in his mentality and his way of playing, I haven't really seen it. Even with some of the results that we've had in recent times, I've not heard so much of that. But you might be in a better position. What's changing the crowd sense as well? You
know, I think the crowd, right? Our fan base is phenomenal. You just look at the singing and how many people turn up at away games, right? Apparently, they say we're probably one of the noisiest away fans in the country, and a lot of people have said that. And we take thousands every game, and they're constantly singing. Okay, they may be the same fans that go week in, week out because people like me can't get a ticket, but they sing their hearts out. Now, at the beginning, under Nuno, there was a little bit City game. Yeah, we won the game, and then it sort of dwindling. And the problem is, if the performances are not up to par on the pitch, the fans start getting wind, and the minority start doing what they do, because you're never going to stop the minority. But then it starts to filter within the whole ground, and it wasn't just a matter of one person playing bad. We had a few playing rubbish, and there was nothing going on. And then the Daniel Levy situation with transfers and all that. So the fans were not getting behind the team. There was more disruption than actually getting behind the team. And I think the players sensed that, hence why the performances dropped. Under Conte, there was a couple of games where the fans weren't up to standard. But then once Conte got his philosophy right, and he he distilled his philosophy into the players, and the fans started seeing what was going on and bringing in Kulu and Bentancur, I think it raised the crowd, and the crowd, started. It wasn't like we weren't singing. We was always singing, but the level started getting higher and higher, and then we started singing players' names, and then I think the biggest thing was every time we started singing Antonio, because every time we sang that pumped him up, and then he pumped up the players, and then it was a pump the bass, pump it up, why you keep up anyway. But it kept going and going and going and going, and I think that what it was. And it's Sean will say what summed it up for me is I've been every game almost, but there's odds and ends. But the Arsenal game was just next level, and every single fan in that stadium was behind not only Conte, but players that they were berating at the beginning. They were singing their names, and that crowd for me, and I think a lot of Arsenal fans that I know, they said to me that fans wouldn't view that game because your fans were hostile. They were singing constantly, and if it wasn't for your fans, then you probably wouldn't have won that. So I think now the sense is, I think the fans have realised that under Conte, there's things going to happen. I think it's one step at a time, one game at a time. And now I think after this one final game, it's one transfer at a time. It's going to be my new logo because we've got to bring the players in.
Yeah, very important that we make sure, as was told to Mikel Arteta, to maximise each transfer window. That is going to have to be what we're going to do. I was just going to add on to the point about the crowd at the Arsenal game. I was so jealous of you two. But Sean, just in terms of that, because of the way the crowd was so much behind the team, even going into that Burnley game where it was a bit nervy, don't get me wrong, it was nervy. It was only 1-0 we beat them by. The crowd could have easily been impatient. It could have easily, get jittery. But I think it was a case of that was probably, for me, the bigger result of the two. I know if we didn't win a North London derby, but it's the follow-up game. That North London derby would have meant nothing had we not beaten Burnley. And by any means necessary, they won that game. And that was down to, the relaxation of the crowd, also from Conte. So I was going to add about in terms of what's changed. Has Conte's mentality changed? Do you remember when we was early part, he was like, I looked from the outside and now I'm on the inside sort of thing. There's a lot of problems here at Spurs. He was almost saying, damn, I don't know what I'm doing here. And that kind of seeped through into my thinking. I'm thinking, bloody hell, is it worse than it actually is? What's going on in this club? His mentality seems to have shifted and he's now got a much more positive spin about Spurs. You've seen the quotes he's come out with saying about how, yes, he's not necessarily here for the long term, but you know what I'm saying? He's almost committing himself to a project as such. I hate using that word. To a way that we're going to go forward. Do you think Conte's also changed in his mentality towards Spurs?
Yeah, I mean, I think you started hearing it in more recent press conferences. He's using the word "we" rather than Tottenham, or he's been. There's much more of identity, and I think the point was made on the Athletic podcast, A View from the Lane, where they said that Conte must have looked around that last Thursday night, hear his name being thing, and then, oh my God, there's not many better places to earn your living here, is there? You're in the top league where the top coaches are, top players are there, and you've got this, support from the fans when it really, really counted, and let's not forget the booing and tango happened under Conte as well, so. Yeah. It's taken a while, but I do think he feels, I think he can feel justified that, well, I've done the job I was brought here to do, which is turn the ship around, and head out into calmer waters. It's now, as Sid says, one transfer at a time. He's already said, I want them before the pre-season tour. None of this, waiting till September the 1st or whatever. He wants the players early, and I'm just going to let the transfer speculation flow over me as I used to do in the summer. Yeah, because until it's on www.tottenhamhotspur.com, it ain't happening, right?
Or 100%. Unless it's on Paxton Road TV with Art Sid, don't you forget that.
That's right. That's right.
That's when it's happening as well.
So that's right.
Yeah,
Let's
but,
not
you know,
forget that.
but I want to see players in, you know, early doors. I don't want this faffing about. If Conte
100%.
says I want this player for this position, I want, you know, the deal done, and it's up to Fabio then to do his job. You know.
Well, he's given his list, hasn't he? Apparently 6
Mm.
players. But do you know what? One question that I want everyone to ask Conte, right? And if I could ask him, I would love to ask him. And my question, to Conte would be, Mr. Conte, compare the fans at Stamford Bridge, compare the fans at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Which set of fan base has given you the goose pimples? Which fan base has really got you, thinking, wow,
He's never going
I
to
am
give
at
you
the
that
right club.
answer.
But
He's never going to give you that answer. You'd
I
love
know.
to know it, but he won't. He won't
But
answer that question.
I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Spurs. I think
It's got
the
to be.
crowd, that Arsenal game, even when the Martin Tyler and Gary Neville were both, they were almost staggered by the support, and they've been to a lot of football matches. Let's not get ourselves, twisted here. They've been to a lot of football matches, a lot of big games, a lot of domestic derbies. They've seen crowds. For them to actually say this is the best that they've seen this season, I've seen some real, as I said, Crystal Palace, amazing fans that they've got.
Yeah.
Newcastle, amazing fans. They pulled them through certain games. To say that ours, having 60,000, it's not like it's, Old Trafford, 75,000. Even the Emirates is 60,000. That's like a library anyway. That is what I want to see us take forward with the Conte era. Make our pitch, our ground, so hostile that nobody wants to play there. And when it comes to the North London derby again, Arsenal are going to think to themselves, Jesus, we are going to be going into a hot environment. We have to have that. And that will take off 5% of their game anyway. As we've seen, it's got to be, keep that going for us. That mentality of the fans is so important, I think, going forward.
We anecdote to share with you. I was with a very good friend of mine over the weekend. She's a primary school head teacher in Edmonton. She said the number of parents who said they could hear us on Thursday night singing. And she did. Edmonton is. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not that far away, but it's still some distance.
Yeah.
That stadium and whoever built those acoustics earned their money on that last Thursday, and that's again on Sunday as well, because in that last 10 minutes, the fans realised how important it was, and they tried to lift the team, and the noise was good.
Yeah, we was all there, weren't we? So we was all there, and I remember it was nervy. It was, because obviously it wasn't going to be the same as in North London, but we were still, there was no because it was like players were just doing what players. I knew we'd get the job done, but 1-0 is always a bit of a tighter scoreline, but it was a controlled performance, and so having the crowd in that situation with your players, that gives them the extra 5%. It also takes away probably 5% from the other team, because they're getting to themselves, Jesus, I don't want to go and take a corner in that corner. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to take a throw on, get that abuse. The goalkeeper behind, sorry, that south stand where it was just literally going up. Who wants that noise behind them? I certainly only want it if I was a Spurs player. Let us have a look at some of these comments here. I might cough again. There, that's it. Right, Monjo. Welcome, Monjo. Once we get our points on Sunday, this is the biggest chance we have to go for the top 2. The club have to take it. That's a big shout there, Monjo, because the top 2 in England at the moment are probably the top 2 in the world. So it can be hard pushed to. But I reckon that top 3, we can certainly be challenging Chelsea and Man United if they're in the picture, and even them lot down the road if they're not dead and buried by next season. Adam Phillips. Davis was a brick wall at Anfield, easily man of the match. We talked about Davis earlier.
Brilliant block against Arsenal as well, second half. Incredible block. I didn't notice it, but when I watched it on the YouTube, the Tottenham YouTube channel, wow, what a player. Yeah.
This is what I want to see. The Bertie Hotspur saying, big up, guys. Remember, Spursy is dead. Positivity, we got this top 4, baby. Back Conte. You see, that's
100%.
And you know what? Forget Spursy now. It should be, you know what it should be now? Our logo. I got chills. It's multiplying. And I'm going to lose my control.
Roachy baby here. Roachy baby. Oh, don't bring the tone down. Don't be sentimental, guys. We need upgrade Doherty, Davis, Dyer, and Winks. 2 wing backs, centre mid, and a striker. Goalkeeper would be nice too with Sunday. Win Sunday coming news. But yes, now let's not get it twisted. We know, Roachy baby, that we need players in the summer. Conte's already alluded to that. But what we have to do is the players that we've got have been galvanized to get us to this position. It's not just about Conte.
Come on, put some respect on Davis and Dyer's name.
I've got to do that. You have
respect, but we still have to upgrade. You're right. We have to.
Definitely, we do. We have to look at them. But whereas it was almost like a 3/4 of the squad sort of get rid of, I don't think it's quite in that situation. I was like, we've got to get rid of Doty. We've got to get rid of Emerson. Region, I don't want him anymore. Sessegnon, not good enough. Dyer, who's Dyer? Davis, not so sure. So, now you start looking through them and thinking, actually, 1 or 2 of them might be good players. 1 or 2 of them are so dependable that, you just get rid of good professionals like that. You don't always get them back. I know they might not be the best, but you can't just have the best of the best. We're not Galacticos. We're not a Man United who did that last season and got into the transfer window and bought as much of the, the super shine as they got. And look what they are. They're turds at the moment. So it doesn't always work to have the best of the best. It's that how they fit into the system more so than anything else. And some of these players, like I said, Ben Davies, I'm going to say it again, he fits into everything that Conte wants in terms of a Spurs player. Might not be technically up there with the best of them, but he will give you every single thing that the manager wants, and that's what you need sometimes.
His leadership has been second to none this season. I mean, his linguistic skills alone have been absolutely vital for getting a job out of our back line at times. Yeah.
Again, remember when Kulu came in, some of our fans were saying he was too slow. Yeah, he looked. I think that was a bit of fitness down to that in that first game because he looked slow. I was like, "Oh, this guy's not a winger," but he's proved how much he's worth to us. So again, it just shows you what can happen when even a few weeks, a few months of coaching by Conte, what can be achieved. Adam Phillips, bring in Javrai, Bastoni, and have Darren Davis back up, all competing with them. Sell Sanchez and Rodon. Well, I think at least one of them, Sanchez or Rodon, is going in the summertime. I don't think that's a doubt. The players looked knackered second half against Burnley. It was the new mindset and fitness training that got the win for me under Jose or Nuno. We'd have lost, definitely. And that can't be underestimated. 62 hours between the North London derby, the emotion of that to play in Burnley, who had to win or supposedly wanted to try and win because they're in a precarious position. That's a massive that's down to mentality. 100% down.
No, Son was running on empty in the second half.
I think they were all there. They were all there.
Oh my God! You can see he was in physical pain from about 70 minutes on. I was surprised he wasn't taken off when they brought Kulu on, but
I'm hoping. I've not seen anything much from Tottenham Hotspur.com this week in terms of who's training, who hasn't been training. I'm going to obviously do that in the next few days when we do the preview show on Saturday for Norwich game. But I'm hoping that everybody, bar the players that we know, Romero, Tanganga.
Well, have you read the bits about Romero?
What?
So Romero saying, and there's a tweet out by Tottenham saying that Romero could be back on Sunday.
No.
Yes, they're saying that Conte keeps saying that Romero's out, but they reckon that Romero might make an appearance on Sunday, and then Romero retweeted that and with thumbs up to it. So you know what? Yes.
What are they doing? Why don't they need to play mind games against Norwich?
It's not mind games. I think Conte and all them lot must have been told that he's done for the season, but apparently maybe not. Maybe it's going to be.
Have you seen Cooty's statements as well? How he's really glad he's made the choice to come to us. And
yeah.
So that is music to my ears. Yeah.
So I think you never know. He could play on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I guess when you had the injury that he had, missed the games that he missed, the Burnley one. There's only a couple of weeks left to go at the end of the season, so it wasn't like it could have had to be a major injury that kept him out. It could have just been a knock or a twist. So if he's got over whatever it was and he is in line for Sunday, happy days. But if it was me, I'd just play with Sanchez, keep him on the bench, and just there's no risk to be taken. I don't believe because for me there's two options. Norwich either put all their players in and go for it, which I don't think they're going to put a load of youngsters in there. I've heard that they could put a lot of youngsters on reserve. That's not going to happen because they will get smashed. So they might put their first team out and just try and go for it, which will play into our hands. Or if they set back and play off the counter, that plays into our hands because we just have to control the game then. It's all about how we play. If we control all aspects of the game, both in defense and in attack, it's over. Because we did that against Arsenal. We controlled them when we didn't have the ball. So important that you can do that when you're a team like we have, when we've got opportunities to have goals. Son, Kane, they've proven what they are. Next bit. Right then, best of a bad bunch. Some people are saying that we've only by default got the position in 4th place. The rest of them, Manchester United, Arsenal, West Ham, Leicester, you name it, Wolves are just not very good. And that we've been the best of that bad bunch. I have some sort of agreement with that because Manchester United have fell off a cliff, but I don't think necessarily we would have been too far adrift from them, even if they'd have really played, because you can see we're only, 2 points off Chelsea at the moment. So is it just a case of being the best of a bad bunch, Sid, or is there a bit more to it than that?
There's definitely more to it than that. Man United have just gone through a transition, and I think getting rid of Ole and then bringing in what's his name, Rangnick. Yeah, didn't work for them, and they've got too many prima donnas, and it wasn't working. West Ham, I think West Ham forgot that it was. They didn't realize it was a war. They thought it was a battle, so they went in battle mode and forgot that it was a war, and eventually they ran out of steam. And then the further they got into Europe, they probably thought, you know what, this is more important to us. Because they didn't have a strong enough squad. So forget Wolves and them lot were never going to compete. Arsenal, for me, yes, they lost the first 3 games and everyone said, yeah, they're going to get relegated, blah, blah, blah. But to come this far, all the way to the end, penultimate game of the season and bottle it and then lose out, then you know what? That's not best of bad bunch. They're just inexperienced. It wasn't like they were playing badly or whatever. They were just... It's unfortunate circumstances that they had to come to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and just get bullied, battered, scared, whatever you want to say. And it is what it is. So, no, I disagree with that. Best of bad bunch. Don't forget, we had Nuno. We didn't start off well. Then we went through a bad patch. Even under Conte, we was like, ooh and ahhing. So, what it is, if the opportunity is given to you, you grasp it with your hands and you pull it and you take it down and you say, right, thank you for the opportunity. I'm going to make the most of it. And unfortunately for everybody else, that's exactly what we did.
And that's why them lot are so gutted, because they didn't expect to be, with 3 games left, 4 points ahead of us in 4th place, getting a Champions League spot. That probably wasn't in most of the Arsenal fans' thinking, probably even the board and the manager. But they didn't take advantage of the situation. I think you have to look at it like that. For us, we take advantage of the situation because that now, provided there is no anything like a meteorite that comes down and strikes the players and we don't win on Sunday, this could now propel us even more so by that fine margin of a couple of points. It's the fine margins where, Arsenal could have propelled themselves on. They may have then well behind Arteta. They may well have then got certain players that might not have come to the club if they didn't have Champions League. Some good points about the Champions League. Players shouldn't just want to come to your club just because you've got Champions League, because it's not a given every single season, unless you're Manchester City or Liverpool. Yeah. All the others are probably going to be playing for those places every season. So to come to a club just because they're in the Champions League one year, they might not be in the next year. So you want to get the mentality right. You want to get the players who want to play for the manager more so than anything and want to fit into the system and see potential. There's so much potential at our club. If we get it right, we've got some aspects of it right. We now need to get more of them right to be able to take us to that next level. So I'll come to you then, Sean. Best of a bad bunch, or are people just kind of, bit sour, salty, like Mr. Klopp?
I think there is a certain element of that. I mean, if you look at the squad that Manchester United could choose from, they should have been nailed on for 4th, shouldn't they? But thankfully their recruitment is as chaotic as ours has been in recent years. That will, I still think that they're obviously they're going to get a new coach and they'll have a new philosophy, and it'll be interesting to see what happens for them. But I know for Arsenal, this was be all and end all, And I was looking at the league table on March the 15th. I think I've shared it around the WhatsApp group. They were clearly ahead of us. They even had a game in hand on us, and for us to haul them back, it's just beautiful, just beautiful.
It's even nicer because it's them, isn't it? If it's them or West Ham or Chelsea, that's the feeling that you get. Any one of them three, and it's like, but I think it's even sweeter because it's them. And AFT is so much more enjoyable now. It's just enjoyable. Like it's better than any soap opera ever. AFTV, when they lose, is just TV gold. It's TV gold for me. Definitely TV gold. Dara, probably 6 to 9 points off the top two. We slipped up a lot with our make-up games. We have lost a lot of points this season. You can think have we won more games than Chelsea? I think we have. As a stat, we've won more games than Chelsea. They've obviously drawn more. But again, you can take it back to the beginning of the season. Had we had Conte, someone was saying we weren't shooting, we weren't taking shots at goal, which is true. Nuno was living off one shot a game on target and winning Manchester City. Had we had him, who knows where we'd be. I think next season we will really see, with regards to the transfers and all the rest of it, where Tottenham are. And I think we should be top three. I think we should be pushing for that top three. I think we'll be in and around Liverpool for a while and Manchester City, but it all depends on what competitions you're in. Are they in late rounds of the Champions League? Are we in the late rounds of the Champions League? Do we drop into Europa? So many ifs and buts that we don't know. Players' injuries, all the rest of it. But in general, who's going to be the competition next season for us, apart from the obvious? Is there going to be a Newcastle coming in there? Is there going to be an Aston Villa? Is it Leicester going to be coming back? Sid, what's your thoughts? Oh, it's gone. He's not. You're not. No,
sorry,
Sid?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was just going to say, who's going to be our competition? More obviously, apart from the obvious, for next season. Is there going to be any new players in the game, like a Newcastle or anybody like that, to be thinking of?
I've got half that question. So you're basically asking if the other teams are going to get players, yeah?
Well, who's going to be challenging us? Because I think we're going to be challenging for top three. I think we're going to be in and around Manchester United. I keep using Manchester City and Liverpool, in that race round about the Christmas, January time. But then that's a long slog after that, depending on what competitions you're in. If you don't have the players, as we've even seen with Liverpool, it's difficult. They got their win they did last night against Southampton. Is the likes of Newcastle, Leicester, Aston Villa, Wolves, Arsenal, Manchester United, are they going to be in and around us? Is there anybody else that you think might be in and around us that we're going to be challenged by?
I think there'll be the usual suspects, in my opinion. Arsenal will probably be thereabouts, but it just depends on not getting into, well, I don't know yet until Sunday, right? But if they don't get into the Champions League, which it looks like it's not going to happen for them, then it just depends on what their mentality next season is going to be. Wolves, Leicester, I think they're just going to be there and thereabouts. I can see Wolves and Leicester losing players, key players this next season, like the Tielemans, Neves, people like that. I think can see them going. Man United is Man United. They're going to be like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get with them. Even with Ten Hag, he's got a massive job going there. It's just whether he can go straight in there and hit the ground running, which I don't think he's going to. Newcastle, for me, and I think Eddie Howe has said this, we spent quite a lot of money in the January transfer window. We got a couple of good, decent players. The budget is not going to be as much as everyone expecting us to blow money, and I'm not going to blow money left, right, and centre just because we've got a load of dosh. So I think it's going to take Newcastle a couple of years, and I personally believe he's going to do, if he's still there, what Jurgen Klopp did, and they're going to buy one or two players here and there every transfer window. They're not going to go bang 5 players. Newcastle is going to be the team to watch next season, but personally, I don't think next season they're going to be strong enough to compete with Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham, even Arsenal, even Man United. I think they'll be thereabouts, but I don't think they'll be serious contenders, not yet.
Kevin Murray saying won't be Arsenal. Sean, who do you think is going to be the main players and the main contenders for that? The coveted top 4 trophy that Arsene Wenger invented. Who's in it next season?
Well, obviously we're in it. I think, you can't discount. Well, we don't know what's going on at Chelsea because 1 minute the deal's on, 1 minute the deal's off. I don't know what's happening there. They've obviously got to buy because half their defence is disappearing. I think to be honest. Do you know what? I don't care about who's in it as long as we're in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. As long as we're in it, as long as we've replenished up, and if January's taught us anything, you don't need to spend massive amounts of money.
Got to get it right.
Squad.
You just got to get it right.
Got to get it right.
Got to get that right balance of players that's going to fit your manager's system. You need
to do the due diligence. Don't be buying players purely because they've racked up a few numbers.
Exactly.
If they're party animals, because
so it's the likes.
This is a league that chews you up. This league chews you up.
When you hear the names like Dybala and stuff like that, does it? Because we've heard Dybala for years. I've heard Dybala's coming to Spurs. I just don't know about that sort of. Is it? I think it's just paper talk anyway because I don't listen to a lot of that. But
it is.
That sort of player. The crowd, necessarily the fans. We say, "Oh, that's a massive signing," but again, we've seen big signings that don't fit into the way, as you say, Sean. The due diligence. Does he fit into a Conte style of play? What position is he going to play? Are we going to have to change our way of playing to suit him? I don't want to be seeing that now because Conte's clearly shown that he wasn't going to. He's not bending on that because if he was, he would have done that a long time ago. He's clearly got a way of playing, unless, of course, he has a worldie that comes, which means you have to. And what I mean by that, let's say he gets a midfielder in of such class that we might have to play him in midfield as a 3 or a number 10. I don't know. That's the sort of thing you would probably do it for, but I don't think Dybala's that player. So it is going to be important who we get that does fit our system.
The problem with that one, Sam, right, is everyone, even the cows, the dogs, the cats, everyone's trying to sell Dybala to Tottenham or to a club in London. Apparently, he's now in London looking and asking friends and whatever about London, right? 1 minute he's coming to Spurs. Oh, no, they're not going Champions League. Okay, then Arsenal. Oh, let's go to Arsenal. Oh, he's been linked with Arsenal. For me, the biggest question is, as much as he's a good player, where is he going to fit in our system? Who is he going to drop to play Dybala? Are you going to drop Kulu? Are you going to drop Kane? Or are you going to drop Son? For me, none of them. None of them can be dropped for Dybala. I don't know. I don't care. Maybe it's another a question that we can ask on another stream one day or have a stream about it. But for me, he doesn't get into that system with them 3 players. I'm sorry. He does not get in at this precise moment. So why would you want to come to Tottenham?
I think he's more likely to go to Roma. That's the talk in Italy, that he's going to go to Roma. And, I can understand that. He's not a young player. He's not going to have to uproot his family, learn a new language, come into a league which is, quite physical. And he does tend to pick up injuries. I don't think it might suit him. So if the Dybala bus goes by, then fine. That's okay. I'm not too concerned about it.
I don't mind missing that bus because I don't think he suits our league. I don't think he suits the physicality, necessarily the pace. He's a very good player, but we've seen very good technical players come into this league.
Yeah.
If you ain't got that physicality and you ain't got that ability to match the pace, it's not just like 2 games and in Spain or in Italy, you might have a few of these games where it's like intense, particularly in Spain. Even in Germany, some of the, Dortmunds and Bayern Munich don't really have to up their game every single week. There's no team in the Premier League. We've seen even the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City, although they go on massive winning streaks, they have to respect the league. They don't just, we're going to take the piss here and put in under 21s and stuff. They can't do that. So the integrity of our league means that it is going to be tough and you've got to get it right. So the due diligence, as Sean was saying, is massive. A few more comments here. Kane as a cam. He's already a cam. I think.
That's not going to work either. 4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1. We're not reverting back to that. I cannot see that happening. If we were going to do that, we'd have done that a long time ago. Martinez over Dybala every time. I agree. You've got to have players of Dybala's talent, though, Sid. Look at the players who sit on City's bench every week. Not that I want Dybala. I agree with the talent, Sid. You can answer that as well.
I agree with I totally agree, Mojo, what you're saying. Yes, but for me, there's probably better players out there, younger players that we can get to sit on the bench that will probably give us more than Dybala will, because I just see Dybala coming to us and being issues and problems if he's not getting a starter or whatever. So I totally agree with you. We need talent, but I think there's better talent out there than Dybala.
Yeah, I agree. Sean, what about this? We need a player that can change position with Kane as a 10 or a false 9. Does that talk about potentially, what's his name? Sterling. Would Sterling be an ideal person to come into our squad?
I mean, I have a lot of time for Sterling. I like him as a man, and I like him as a footballer. But I think he's kind of turned his nose up at us, and I think he's not going to come. He's not going to come, and I know that's going to break someone on our WhatsApp heart. But it's sorry, Lara, but I don't think Sterling's coming.
But you never know. You never know. He might under Conte and Kane. Imagine playing with Conte, Kane, Son.
I wish footballers. Yeah, I wish footballers were more like that. It's wages. I get exactly that.
Wages as well.
It's money.
How much is he on at Manchester City?
He must be on 200 plus. He must be on 200 plus at Manchester City. I can't see him being, because I know he went through that phase where he wanted to sign a new contract and they got him signed up. I don't know how much he's on, but he must be on 200 plus. And we've already got the likes of Kane on 200. We had Tango on 200. We can probably afford to play players like that.
He's
but
on
then
300 grand a week.
How much?
About 300.
Is he worth 300 grand a week?
No.
Okay, that says it all for me. That says it all. Right, let's do this last bit. It's a bit of a mischievous last bit of the show, and I'm going to blame the judge on this one. Judge Jodi, who suggested doing this show a few
Hold on, she's the other side of the world, isn't she?
Yeah, that's why I'm blaming her, isn't it?
She's literally gone down under and put Sam in it.
She's probably not even awake, so it don't matter. She won't even see this for a while. But I'm going to use her as the mischievous one. So, if we didn't get top 4 this season, I'm going to reword that. Is it a case of, would you rather have top 4 this season or Conte for next season? I know it might sound like an obvious answer to some, but it's not for others, because it was something that was raised. Because Conte could leave us at any point. And if you're in the Champions League, then you might be able to then get a manager of the same sort of stature. But if you're not in the Champions League, is Conte the man to have that rebuild to then get us back into it? I'll start with you, Sid. You know what I mean? You can sort this one out.
So
I know it's mischievous.
If you scroll all the way up to the top of the comments,
Yeah.
If you read the second comment, that is my answer.
Let's go there. Right. Is this one?
Nope, one up.
Can't be that one then, because that is saying Antonio. Where is it then?
That's right. That's the one.
Oh, that's it.
You're
just saying Antonio. That's it. You don't want to even say.
No, I'm going to tell you now. The reason Antonio is because we can get into top 4 this season. Yeah. But then if you've not got the right manager with the right mentality to get us, okay, we're going to be in the Champions League, and then to take us further, right? Say you get whichever manager comes in, we've got top 4 next season, we're in the Champions League, we get knocked out in the first stages, and then we sort of dwindle away. Our fans going to be happy with that. Whereas with Conte, he might not get us into the top 4 this season, but we know with him, with his philosophy, his record, he's going to take us higher and higher every season with his players. If he gets the players, if he gets the transfer windows, then we know I'd rather not have a quick fix into a top 4 next season. I'd rather have a manager that I know that's going to be there for a few years, that's going to take us where we need to go and keep us there.
Very well. Take the teeth out, put them back in. Very well put, Sid. Very well put. I'll come to you, Sean. I'm being mischievous on it because for me, it's not really a question. I've always maintained about the top 4. It's great that we've got it, and I think it's only great this season. It feels better because we've got them
over them. Yep.
Over them. That's exactly the point. But I looked at this season saying if we didn't get top 4, the important thing was, right, get into Europe, Europa League being the one, not Europa Conference League, which Man United might be playing if they don't win their last game of the season. But let's not talk about that either. If we got into Europe and we were to aim for a trophy, that's what I would be saying would be successful for next season. We've got a bonus, as you said. We might 96% likely to take a bonus for this season being in the Champions League. Conte will probably want to lead this team into that battle next season. But it's not a choice for me. If we didn't have, it would be Conte, top 4, you can keep that. Sean, what's your thoughts on top 4 or Conte?
I'm gonna go the other way, and I'm gonna say you can't be Spurs and not want top 4 this season. Next Sunday night, you want to be top 4 because it's over them, and we're Spurs, right? And spiking them is the be all and end all for me because they've broken my heart too many times. So I think if we were in the top 4, we would have a gaggle of managers coming to get us. If Conte says, "You know what, Daniel, I'm off," I think we could have our choice of managers come and work at our stadium. What were we talking about? 20 minutes ago? What a perfect place to work. Team that's in the Champions League.
I agree.
Being added to by our transfer guru.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're definitely right. We would be able to attract pretty much any manager. The only thing I would say about that is it's the changing of the philosophy again. You know, these players at this moment in time have got a certain philosophy, certain mentality, certain way of playing. We've seen that you can't just rip that up and expect it to be hit the ground running. It doesn't really happen like that. It takes time. And that rebuild process, again, losing someone like Conte, you're going to have to replace him with the level that he's on. Klopp, Pep, Ancelotti sort of level. The tier below that, maybe the Diego Simeones, the Tuchels, the rest of it. Would the fans be happy with that? I don't know. Because you're eating steak now, filet mignon. You don't want to be eating hamburgers, do you? When you've had filet mignon. So I'm not sure.
It's a time-specific thing, isn't it? I mean, I think I'm not really talking with my chest when I say top 4 rather than Conte because I want Conte there. You know what I mean? But I'm honest, you framed this non-question, so
I know.
I'm just giving you one way it could be interpreted.
It was cheeky. It was a little bit mischievous.
And you're blaming someone who's 12,000 miles away.
I know. I do.
Yeah, but I think this question was supposed to be posed a few months ago, weren't it? I think it was I think Sam.
I just wanted to see what kind of thought process now because I think we're going to have both. I'm pretty sure we're going to have both, and at some point there is going to be that pressure that's going to come on. There's going to be that. Have we got the right players in? Have we got the ability to go on a run in the Champions League or the Europa League? Have we got the team to win us a trophy next season? The pressure will come on the players, the manager, all the rest of it. I know that, but I just think what I've seen to rip that up now, just because you're not in top 4, let's say if there's a choice, I don't think it would be a positive thing to do because I'm not sure we won't get Klopp. You ain't getting Guardiola. You're unlikely to get someone like Tuchel. Would you want a Tuchel? I don't think he's done enough.
But you might be wrong there, Sam, because Yaya Touré's curse is working on Man City. So if Pep wants to win the Champions League, then he might come to Spurs. You never know. If he's got Kane and Son and all them lot, he probably thinks, you know what, the curse is not here. The curse is at Man City. So I might be able to go to Tottenham and win the Champions League.
Ain't Yaya Touré going to be in our setup? Bro?
Yes, he is.
He's not already, is he? He's already started, isn't he? So that curse, if Pep was to come here, the curse is coming for you. No. Nah, I'm not sure. I'm not just sure. Sorry about that, Jodi. It was only a bit of a like I said, one of them sort of things which is mischievous to say.
You could be in jail next Monday, Samuel, for that one.
Yeah, I'm going to take over Judge Jodi. I'm going to put her in jail for running away with that question. Yeah. As long
as come Sunday we're above them lot, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care.
At the time.
So yes, that is it, gentlemen. I think we've come to the end of this show. It's been great. I've enjoyed it immensely. You know what? We've got one game left. As the saying goes from our friend at the top, right, one game at a time. It literally is now one game left.
Okay.
One game to seal this season for us to have St. Gunarin's Day on Sunday, because we can't quite celebrate St. Gunarin's Day yet.
Oh, no, let's not. No, hold on.
What?
Let's not go down that road.
No, I'm doing it.
No. Let them small-minded people have their stupid. When can we finish? No, that's not us.
I'm doing it.
We have one day that we can grow about them. April the 14th.
Do you know how much grief I get from some of these Arsenal people?
You don't think I do?
And I'm like Expressions. I'm ready to blow up on anybody come Sunday.
Oh my God! Have you seen his latest pod with his brother today?
I've got to watch that. I've got on the playlist to watch, because I've seen some of the things, and he was going for it. He was going for Robbie.
He's off to Philadelphia. He's all going to meet troops in Philadelphia. Oh my God!
It's going to be fun and games, isn't it?
It's going to be fun and games. Yeah. Sid, have you got anything coming up this week, or are you going to be starting Oxy? Do you want to tell the viewers about anything about that in the future?
I'm just going to relax this week, just going to take it all in, soak it all in, just get ready for Sunday, and then probably I might do an Ask Sid, but I might do it on Monday or Tuesday. I do an earlier one. And I've got a really, really good idea, which my son, the youngest prodigy, has said we should do a stream about player of the season, midfielder of the season, defender of the season, goalkeeper of the season, and we should all put our predictions in, and then we should have a discussion show of why we've picked these players.
That's a good point. We could actually get some of the interaction from the viewers as well to maybe vote for the players. So that's something to look out for. Yes. We'll have a roundup of the season, I guess a brief roundup next week on the talking points, which should be very good. And then we might have a couple of weeks off to talk about. We're going to have loads of specials during the summertime. We've got Artsy to come up. We've also got the man below with his guitar. He's going to be doing some shows as well. He's under no pressure to do them yet, but he's coming. He's got his guitar ready. So we've not only got singers, we've got instrument players as well. This is how Paxton TV works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be in that number.
Yeah, I've got a couple of walk down White Hart Lane memory lanes in the planning process, probably summertime. And yes, I'm looking forward to doing those once I learn how to control these buttons in front of me, still not comfortable with that, but
the buttons is great. You can make it just do things like this, take things off like that, you know what I mean? Do that, you kind of do that. You can kind of put things like over the top. You know what I mean? When you got the button pressing, you can do anything. It's great.
And you can mute me as well, I know,
Excellent. Gentlemen, it's been brilliant. We have got one game left. It's this weekend. Every team kicks off on Sunday at 4:00. Yeah, it's 4:00 kickoff. So we'll probably be doing the reaction show around about 6:15. But look out for the preview show Saturday. I think it's going to be Saturday, 12:00. Definitely Saturday, 12:00. Make sure you like the stream. Thank you all to the viewers. Let's just have a quick shout out to some of these viewers that were in the house. Rob Queen there, the Bertie Hotspur, Kevin Murray, Andy Midge. We've got Darrell. Thank you for watching. Who else is in the house? We've got Seb Shah there as well. Mojo, as always. Simply Ace. Ellie, thank you for watching as well. Yeah. It's been a pleasure. It's been a really good. Adam Phillips, I mentioned him already. Great show.
And we've got Bertie's in the house. Anyway,
you're going to have to work hard over the summer to make sure you keep up with your songs. You can't start this precedence now and then drop off.
No friends from the Armory show.
Oh, no.
Who?
No Army. Nick Dorman, welcome, Nick. Thank you for watching. It's been great. Thank you for your
subscriptions, guys. Subscriptions.
Absolutely. Smash it. Smash the like button.
Do it. Thanks, guys. Enjoy Sunday. We shall. And good show. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What else? What we say? Will you guys be doing streaming over the summer? Yes, we will. Yes. That's all I will say to that.
The question we should be asking Bertie is, will you and everybody else tune in to watch us do our streams over the summer? Because if you're going to stream, if you're going to come and join us, then we will put it out there for you.
Looking directly at you there, Bertie. Watch the streams over the summertime. We've got plenty to come. That is it now. Done enough chatting. Sean, I know you want to go and watch Rangers, don't you? You want to go and watch Rangers, don't you, Sean?
Shut up.
Go on, Sean. Put up the Rangers.
Up the Rangers, sure.
Yeah, right up them. Yeah.
This is a great. You can wind people up. It's fantastic. Anyway, enough mischievousness we've done now. Thank you very much for watching Paxton Road TV. Make sure, as we've said before, spread that like button, notification bell, all the rest of that stuff. Make sure you get us around so you'll be seeing us. And more merchandise coming, as well as the hoodies. Look out for some t-shirts.
Mojo saying, I'll be there. Just call my name. I'll be there.
Oh, it's Mike Jackson.
Oh, that was great. That was one of Michael Jackson anecdotes. That was fantastic. Oh, I've got to watch that one back. But yeah, watch back that show with the NLD when we did the preview. Darius was funny. He was funny as hell. And some of our faces on there when he was saying some of his stuff, it's a joy. It's a joy to watch. It's a joy to watch. But that is over with. Thank you very much, Sean. Thank you very much, Sid. And we are out.